Ball Facts coming back at you again. We gonna give you the facts. This video is about the Big Baller brand, the rise, the fall, the who, the why, what's next, should they keep going? I have two major points to cover, but first I want to watch this clip in order to get to my first point.
What's going on with Fox, man? The brand, bro.
I don't know, man. We need Lonzo to be involved, so I got to hear from him.
The brand is demolished right now.
That's how you feel the brand is demolished.
That's everybody feels.
Who's everybody?
The world.
Now this leads me to my first point. Lonzo was influenced by the world. Lonzo was influenced by the world not liking Big Baller brand. It's not all about Allen. Everyone would like you to believe that it's all about Allen. No, the weight of the world was on Lonzo's shoulder for a while. He was listening to what the world had to say. He was always getting talked about in the media, bashed and bad because of the Big Baller brand. But let me tell you something. The world was not feeling like the Big Baller brand was demolished. The world felt threatened. Big Baller brand threatened money. They threatened influence that the world has, the media, the big businesses. They felt threatened. Think about this. The marketing that Big Baller brand got, someone would have had to have a $30 million campaign to get it. He was on ESPN so much getting talked about. His shoes were sitting on stage, not stage, or just up there. He was getting celebrity cosigns, Ocho Cinco, Shannon Sharp. People were standing behind Big Baller brand just because they liked something about it. He got on Facebook, he's not on TV. He got on Facebook and his show blew up. Like you couldn't plan these things. The way everything happened for Big Baller brand, it was just perfect. Even the bad press, LiAngelo steals and gets taken by China. Now you have Trump, the most trending, talked about person in the world, in a talking match with Lavar. Big Baller brand was getting so much publicity. You would have had to pay so much money to get it. So the world started a smear campaign.
Other two kids, he's all about Big Baller brand. He has no foreseeable talent. He's trying to make money on his kids.
They were doing all this stuff with ESPN. The narratives they would talk about, it would always be negative, always be bad. Even the thing later with Molly, I forget her last name, Jalen Rose's wife. Jalen Rose said what he said. He stood by his wife. You should stand by your wife. But at the same time, you seen what happened. You know what they did to LeVar Ball. Jalen Rose could have said, I stand by my wife, and I'm sorry that happened to him because he didn't mean that. And my wife, she was sincere in how she felt, and LeVar was sincere in what he was saying, and it wasn't bad. It was just a miscommunication. It was confusion. But no, all this stuff happened. ESPN put out a statement and just all this stuff. LeVar would do a pop-up shop and sell so much merchandise. Have lines of people buying Triple Bs. People do pop-up shops all the time and nobody buys anything unless it's a major brand. You could have a Nike pop-up shop next to the Big Baller brand pop-up shop when they were like basically before the Allen thing. And then lines would have been longer at Big Baller brand and just as long as another celebrity. So Zoe is still a young man. He's very impressionable. He can bend to peer pressure. He went to public school. He was like anyone else. And he just wanted to fit in and was tired of not fitting in because of the media. The media was making him not fit in. They made him feel bad about all the things he was doing with his family. It's not all about Allen. It's about you seen the clip. Lonzo, he feels like the world is against him. That's the first point that we have to understand about this whole situation. The world, they want to stop Big Baller brand. Okay, now on to my second point. It is in the best interest of their family to keep Triple B's going. The world is against family. And if Zoe sides with the world, he will be too. The world is for be your own man, go do your own thing. Put your parents in the old folks home when it's time. They don't come out and say it, but literally that's what it's about. And LeVar was trying to change that.
Oh, that Big Baller brand, that's us, man. We came up with this, me and my wife. It's a family brand, and each one of the B's represent my boys. The first B is kind of fancy. It represents Mello. The second B is always a solid B, which is Jello, the strong one. Open B, the last one, which is Lonzo. And you don't know what he's going to do. So That's how we came up with that logo, the Triple B's. We stand.
Look at him. He always has his parents and Tina's parents with him. He wanted to be with his son. So everyone is saying Lavar needs to understand that Lonzo is his own man and he should just leave and say and just leave and do what he wants. Don't you understand Lonzo's choices affect more than just him? He was brought into a family and then a family business. If he all of a sudden just curves and says, I got to look out for me, number one, he's throwing everyone under the bus. Tina, his grandparents. Let me tell you this. Just because Allen did something bad. Let's say Allen, for lack of this is going to sound distasteful, but I'm going to take it here. Let's say Allen raped Tina. He caught her alone and he did something. Does Lonzo say, every time I look at my mom, I see Allen now. I can't be around my mom. No. Does Lavar leave Tina? No. Does Tina leave Lavar? No. When somebody infiltrates and does something horrible, you keep it going. You keep it moving. It's not all about Allen. If the world was saying Triple B's was the best thing that ever happened and there was no bad media on it, when Allen did that, Lonzo would have came out with a song, a diss track towards Allen saying it's still Triple B's and we're kicking you out. That's facts. And Lavar stood by all his sons. He stood by all his sons. LiAngelo, you over there in China in jail. Everybody thought Trump got him out. Turns out Lavar pulled strings and got him out. And he set up on Facebook and said, I'm with you, bro. Whatever you do, I'll do. Your dad is not dead. Your dad stood by you. He kept you in the media and he vouched for you, saying that you were a good kid. You don't leave the brand just because your brother wants to, because his NBA season was media frenzy, and they're siding with their brothers. But, Lonzo, he's the oldest. He should be siding with his dad. Do y'all know? I mean, everybody has their own personality. So Lavar is big mouth, loud mouth, all these things that they just know that's how their dad is. But if you look at the heart of what he's doing, he's trying to help his family. He's trying to help you. You can't even blame him for the Allen situation. I know felons and criminals in my life that you got to give a second chance. What? You never give them a job again. If they stole, they can never work with money again. There is stories of redemption. There is a second try. There's somebody in your family that you would hire, and as long as you're making $100,000, they won't do nothing. But once you start making millions, they might find out that they start stealing from you. These things happen. They're gonna happen. So, with that all being said, the boys, Lonzo was gonna have a great year at the Pelicans if he was wearing Triple B's. LaMelo, he's gonna have a great year in Australia if they play the right style of basketball and let him do his thing. He's gonna have a great year. LiAngelo, man, you're gonna have a great year. LiAngelo could come out with a whole nother line of BBB with Men's Warehouse. He could literally do that, do a little suave thing. But they had a market, the niche of the market so cornered. I even believe that somebody could have paid Allen to take that money or set it up in order to take Triple B's down, because they were like, how can we do this? What way would we get Lonzo to leave this? This is all speculation at this point. I know I usually go with the facts, but I have to go with the fact that something smells fishy, because they do want the Big Baller brand out of the way, because they were causing waves. Soon as they become good in the NBA, Big Baller brand stock goes through the roof. And if he was thinking about Zoe, if Lonzo was thinking about Zoe, that's her future. We're talking about natural things now. Her future, your grandchildren's future. You know how much time your dad and your mom put into this? From training you in AAU to buying the jerseys to making the signs and doing all this. And then they trusted you, Lonzo, to put 51% of the stock in your hands for Big Baller brand. And then when something bad happens, you to turn your back and say, I'm done with it. You're done with the sweat and tears your mom put in. You're done with the sweat and tears your dad put in. You're done with the sweat and tears that you guys put in. Don't buckle under the world. Don't buckle under your little friends and social media. That would literally, I know he doesn't see it this way, but that would literally be turning his back on his family. They've invested in you. And that's what a father should invest in his son. You know, regular job, you go work your job, you leave and retire 50 years. Your son can't come into that job. He's got to go to college and get another job. So a lot of men just invest in themselves. Or maybe they're not even there at all. Big Baller Brand was an example to other people. Big Baller Brand was showing other individuals that you don't have to go to a big company and give them all their money. They were scared. I guarantee you there's foul play at work. And they're laughing right now saying, we got one of the sons. And Lavar is hurt. Lavar is keeping Triple B's going, hoping that his son will come to the light and be able to see it. Hope it wouldn't take something tragic for him to say, yes, we need to go back with the brand. But Lonzo's a millionaire now, so he's got to see, you know, what his priorities are. But these people want Triple B's out of the way. Because the next person, just imagine if Lonzo stayed with them and they just kept ramming it. And then Zion comes out and he says, I'm coming out with a brand. It's called the ZZs or whatever. And next thing you know, Zion Williamson is just boom, crashing the market. They would say, oh, no. So they got to make it look like a failed attempt. Like you can try it on your own, but you're never going to do it right. You don't know how to pick the right business people. You don't know how to do this, how to do that. Big Baller Brand, literally, it's like the floodgates open up for them. They walk straight in. He trained his sons up from a young age till they were all, it was like literally fairy tale. How do you go to state championships undefeated and just walk your way into ESPN, walk your way onto the news, walk your way on a Twitter with Trump? All this mainstream media, becoming a household name. And you know what the crazy part is? I'll still support BBB if all the sons say no. Because Lavar is big enough right now to just hold it down. Lavar might live old enough to where Zoe comes out and she's a WNBA player and she signs Triple B's. But for them to let go of BBB for Allen, that's like they're saying what Allen did is worth more than what the family did. Allen's crooked scheme was more worth and more powerful than what your mom, your dad, and your brothers and all your sweat and tears, your grandparents. No way it outweighs it. If he was to weigh it on a scale, what their family has put into it would, just crash to the floor. So Lonzo's going to have to grow up, or he's just going to have to let it go. But literally, they got $30 million, quote unquote, of free publicity and marketing, had the product, and now he would just throw it away. The return on your investment is coming. Seed time harvest. Literally, Big Baller Brand was going to blow up, gonna go crazy. And now everybody's asking, why aren't the boys wearing the Triple B's? Why ain't this? Why aren't that? Now we're gonna see with the season 5 on Facebook, but it's pretty sad. Everybody that doesn't understand saying, let it go, let him be his own man. If he was his own man, he would not be influenced by the media, by the world. But he is. If he was his own man, he would step back from the situation and look into it and say, oh, the smart, logical thing to do is go with my family's brand. Go with my family's brand. It's going to support all of us. So when we leave the NBA, we're still good. My grandchildren are good. Or you can go work your warehouse job and then retire. And now your kids got to go work a warehouse job. You can appreciate what your parents did and all what they sacrificed and go with the brand, or you can say to hell with what they sacrificed. I'm doing me. And it's popular for everyone to do them. So there's going to be a lot of people that don't like this video and they're going to say he need to do him. He need to do his thing. I'm against that wholeheartedly. The fact of the matter is, he is putting more of an importance on what Allen did than what his family did. Now, if we strip it down and look at it that way, everybody will say, oh, it's more important what your family did. Then that means Triple B's. It's not the same. It's the same. It was like when Dipset broke up. Cameron was over here. Then Jewels and Jim Jones was over there doing stuff for 50 Cent. It's like, no. I don't know if anybody knows that example, but that just came to my mind. I basically just freestyle these videos, just turn on the mic and talk. But it's just not right for them to split it up like that. So I'm hoping that Lonzo can come to his senses, hoping that he can see that what's really influencing him, and hope he can value the work that people put in and invest it on his behalf. And I hope his brothers can come to their senses. Even if Lonzo doesn't do it, hopefully they can stand up and say, you know, I'm going to do it. You know, that how dope would it be for LaMelo's first game in Australia to look up and he's got a Triple B tattoo and he's saying, yeah, we rocking this. Anyway, you know what I do. This is Ball Facts. And I'll be coming back with some more videos very, very soon. Peace.